0. Hi, Weekend Warriors. Welcome back to the workshop. It is a rainy, gray, chilly, miserable Martin Luther King Day 2022, and it's a perfect day for putting up another video. And in this one, we're going to take a look at the Shopsmith mounted, or at least my Shopsmith mounted router table. Now, this doesn't run off the power head on the Shopsmith. It mounts to the Shopsmith because I find it very, very handy to use it for pretty much everything I do. It's got a standard router mounted underneath it. The table itself, we'll get into the construction in a minute, but I built this one a few years ago just thinking prototype, let's see if I can do it. And I've been using it ever since, and I keep thinking I need to rebuild this, but I never seem to find the time. But let's take a look at this one, and maybe someday if I rebuild one, I'll shoot a video on that. Anyway, yeah, let me grab the hand camera and then we'll walk around it and look at some of the features and that good kind of stuff. I'll be right back. Okay, the construction of this guy, it's real basic, real simple. I have 1.5 inch plywood is the base, on top of which I've layered 3/8 inch plywood to provide things like miter gauge slots, a plate for the router, so I can do different routers in it. You can see I've drilled this one for 3 different routers. Right now I've got a fixed base in there. And I've got this removable, and you'll see kind of the reason here in a few minutes. All right, I've made this sized as a standard Shopsmith Mark V 500 table, which means I'm also able to use a 500 fence. And that's what this is all about. This is a 1-inch piece of angle iron with 2 1/2-inch flat stock welded in place, or at least tacked in place. So it acts just like the slot, whoops, there we go, the slot on a standard Mark V table. And then on the other side, you'll see that I've cut the same angle as seen there on the bottom of a Mark V table. Excuse me. And then just because it's plywood, I reinforced it with another strip of 1/2-inch stock. So I'm able to use the fence off of any Mark V 500, and I've taken my fence and I've added a little bit of a router attachment to it. So okay, let me go back to the stationary camera and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Here I have my table. I've got it inserted into the table fence. The base of it is just mounted to a standard Shopsmith extension table mount. So nothing fancy there. It's just bolted onto the bottom of the table surface. I've got on mine, I've got the middle cut out. Let's pop this guy out. I've got the middle cut out to accept every router that I own. I use mostly this fixed base router, so I never have to remove the center section. But if I had a plunge router in here, I like to have the center section removable to make it easier to change bits, set height, all that good kind of stuff. But with the fixed base, it's a lot easier to use. So I can put that guy back in and then reinsert the screws. And when I do that, I make sure that my miter gauge is still movable. Snug, but movable. Okay, so not only can I use my Shopsmith miter gauge, but because of the fence attachment at the end and the reinforcement at the opposite end, I can also use my Mark V 500 fences. On this one, I've mounted an extra section to, 1, act as a fence, 2, a sacrificial piece so I don't have to worry about tearing up my fence. And 3, I've got an attachment that goes over to provide dust collection and vacuum. So that's why it's built out the way it is. I'm not going to worry about showing that off today because, you know, it works, but it looks funky and anyway, so yeah, as I was saying, the top is layered in 3/8 inch plywood. It's all coming from the same piece, so I know it's all the same thickness. It fits right on top of the 1.5 inch table. At the same time, the edge pieces and the 2 end pieces that border the router plate are all fixed, so they don't come out or anything like that. And like I said, I originally built this one to be a prototype that I was going to see how well it worked and then rebuild later. But it worked so well, I haven't taken it apart yet. I guess the only other thing to do is to turn it on. I'll cut a rabbit with it, and that'll be the end of this video. So another quick one down, and another idea to float out there. I didn't have to drill into any tables because I made a floating extension, and I started that idea a long time ago and just got around to building it after working on another project. I had the extra extension table mount, so yeah, no extra drilling, an extra piece. It also acts as a extension table for use on odd occasion. Let's see here. Yeah. Take one of those pieces that I cut out in another video, and I'm just going to cut a rabbit. Let's see. I've already got it set up for a 1/4 inch there. How about going for a 1/4 inch here? And here we go. And I must not be plugged in. I am not plugged in. I should add that I've got this thing plugged into a Harbor Freight speed controller. It just acts as another external switch. I never vary the speed on my routers. That looks like a pretty decent rabbit to me. Where are we? Let's get this up to where the camera is. Ah, there we go. There we go. A nice, decent rabbit. Nice, cleanly cut. Nice and even all the way down. So, yeah, it acts like a router table should work. Don't have too much more to say about this video. So, until the next time I see ya, y'all keep up the good fight. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye.